Our planet is facing a triple emergency. Climate change generates disasters in different parts of the world. Biodiversity loss as various human pressures on nature threaten 1 million endangered species. And pollution, which continues to poison the air, land, and water. But not everything is lost. In addition to advancing the 2030 agenda, countries around the world are making bold commitments to address these challenges. Responding to this need, the project, Mapping Nature for People and Planet, led by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, was born. To support countries in using the latest technological advances in national and global science and spatial data to create a national map of hope. As a result, the essential life support areas, ELSA, are identified in different countries. In these areas, nature can support the achievement of national objectives on biodiversity, climate change, and sustainable development, food security, etc., at the same time to avoid working in silos. The result is a map that governments can use to harmonize their development policies with the conservation of nature and thus prioritize areas for protection, sustainable management, and restoration. So far, 13 countries in Latin America, Africa, and Asia are working to develop their map of hope. The process of developing the map has 3 phases. First phase, a national vision is generated. Stakeholders reach consensus on the country's top 10 policy commitments related to nature, climate, and sustainable development. Then, a group of experts identify and compile national spatial datasets that already exist in the country that can be used to represent these commitments. They also agree on national and area-based targets for the protection, management, and restoration of land areas. Second phase. Based on the previous inputs and using the principles of systematic conservation planning, the group of experts conducts a prioritization exercise using the ELSA online web tool, which leads to the creation of the first iteration map of the country's essential life support areas. In this process, with the support of the UNDP, stakeholders and experts discuss the trade-offs and iterate new version of the ELSA map. Finally, in the third phase, the project supports stakeholders in identifying opportunities to integrate the results of the analysis and mapping into national information, planning documents, and policies for nature, climate, and sustainable development. In the case of Ecuador, together with the Ministry of Environment, Water, and Ecological Transition, various possible uses of the ELSA map have been identified. Among them, contribute to the decision-making in the country's territorial planning, as well as the generation of public policy. Conduct an exhaustive analysis of the conservation gaps necessary for Ecuador to achieve the goals set out in its various policies and strategic plans. Develop a mechanism to align the ELSA map areas with the concepts of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification and Drought, UNCCD, and seek specific synergies. Report on the progress in meeting Sustainable Development Goal 15 on the life of terrestrial ecosystems, along with other tools. Identify areas for the protection of indigenous territories, especially in the Ecuadorian Amazon, as well as areas for the conservation of landscapes and biodiversity that are not framed within the protected areas. Determine unprotected areas adjacent to protected areas in order to create ecological corridors to encompass areas to conserve species in danger of extinction due to fragmentation. Nowadays, in Ecuador, we must change our current lifestyle, as ecosystems will no longer be able to meet our demands. Thanks to the generation of ELSA maps, governments are able to make better decisions in the planning and use of natural resources, incorporating biodiversity in a wide range of sectors. This will not only result in economic and environmental improvements for countries, but will also positively impact health, reduce poverty, and open the possibilities for higher sustainable development.